They told you to move it?
Yeah, I gotta move the podium back after the last bit.
That's fine.
Okay, perfect. Just stay right here then.
Yeah.
So I don't want to stand over there and then when he comes, walk all the way up here to the podium.
You can make change a little bit if you want. If you want to sit down or stand.
I'll stand and maybe I'll pass out.
No, but just in case my voice started cracking, you gotta take it.
Yeah, just make sure you get through Reese's family first.
That's the thing.
You see what this thing says?
What?
It says I've been married way too long. That's what that says.
You're funny.
You know me, Gavin.
It's in my purse and everything. As soon as it hit 58. It's a long minute. Oh, there you go.
You see that, that mandatory phone guy is here?
Ladies and gentlemen, the commissioning ceremony will begin in 2 minutes. Please take this time to find your seats and silence all electronic devices. Thank you. Good afternoon to all, and welcome to the Texas A&M University Central Texas Senior ROTC Class of 2026 Commissioning Ceremony. My name is Cadet Genesis Major, and I am serving as your Master of Ceremonies for today's commissioning. On behalf of our Professor of Military Science, Lieutenant Colonel Joe Rainey, the Army ROTC cadre, and our commissioning cadets, I would like to welcome Dr. Scott L. Eflont, the Texas A&M University Central Texas President, Dr. Richard Rhodes, distinguished guests, parents, family, friends, and our esteemed faculty and staff, and those others who have joined us to celebrate the commissioning of 17 new officers into the United States Army. Today is a very special occasion, as these 17 cadets were commissioned as second lieutenants into the United States Army. Family members, friends, fellow cadets, and university faculty will witness the combination of years of training and hard work as these cadets are administered the oath of office and become commissioned officers in the United States Army. Today's official party includes our guest speaker, Dr. Scott L. Eflont, Professor of Military Science, Lieutenant Colonel Joel Rainey, and our Assistant Professor of Military Science, Major Azucena Town. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats for the singing of the national anthem by Mr. Sean Kelly and remain standing for the invocation given by Chaplain Kim.
Oh, say can Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Almighty and holy God, we invite your presence here as we witness the commissioning of the servants of this great country. Each cadet has dedicated hearts and mind for this great cause. As each one takes the next step, commissioning as an officer of the United States Army, we humbly come to seek your blessing and your anointing, recognizing your authority over our nation. Anoint us, anoint each one with wisdom, strength, courage, and discernment to lead in the fight for the sake of the freedom and to care for the soldiers. I pray that each person will give you honor and honor to this great country. We are grateful as you are present here with us in this great celebration. In God we trust, and in your holy name we pray. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Thank you, Chaplain Kim. Texas A&M University Central Texas, also known as A&M Central Texas or TAM-UCT, is a public university located in Killeen, Texas. It is one of the newest members of the Texas A&M University system. Founded in 1999 as a branch of Tarleton State University, it became an independent member of the Texas A&M University system in September 2009. The campus sits on 662 acres that were previously part of Fort Hood Military Reservation, making many students feel right at home, as over 40% of students are affiliated with the military in some way. Texas A&M Central Texas students are known as the Warriors, which is fitting as the TAM-UCT ROTC program has commissioned, after today's ceremony, 358 second lieutenants since the launch of the program 17 years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, the Professor of Military Science, Lieutenant Colonel Joe Rainey.
First and foremost, thank you for our distinguished guests, President Rhodes, Lieutenant General Admiral, friends and family, for coming here and supporting this tremendous occasion and supporting these future officers. Today, I have the privilege of introducing our guest speaker, Dr. Eflon. Many of you know him through his distinguished military service, but I also want to recognize the continued impact he's made through his work in higher education and his support to the ROTC program and cadet development. And this is a history lesson, a bit personal, but it kind of impacts your threshold once you cross those doors with the bars on. As a young lieutenant, and I use the word young a little generously these days, Dr. Eflon was my brigade commander. He may not remember me, but I do remember him many, many times engaging with him and hearing his speeches. Early in your career, you pay close attention to leaders at the battalion and brigade level. You watch how they carry themselves, how they make decisions, how they lead people, and how they handle responsibility. Whether they realize it or not, young officers and young soldiers are constantly learning from them. I truly believe the most impactful positions for retaining quality officers are at the brigade and battalion level, as many of you do. That is where young officers first see what leadership in the profession truly looks like. Strong leaders at those levels do more than accomplish missions. They develop people, set standards, and shape how junior officers view service, leadership, and the future of the Army. Dr. Eflont was one of those leaders. His professionalism, command presence, and investment in people left a lasting impression on many of us who served under him. Looking back now, I can clearly see how much I learned simply by observing how he led soldiers and organizations. Leaders like that make young officers and soldiers want to continue serving and one day provide the same example for others. What makes his story even more meaningful is that his service did not stop when he took off the uniform. Through his work at the university level and his continued support to the ROTC, he is still helping shape future leaders and investing in the next generation of Army officers. That continued commitment to service and leadership is something worthy of recognition and respect. At this time, I'll transition to Dr. Eflont's official biography. Dr. Eflont works as the director of the Military Talent Pipeline at Texas A&M Central Texas in Killeen, which places veterans in the area's fast-growing industries. Before this, he was commissioned at Marion Military Institute and spent 34 years in the U.S. Army, attaining the rank of Major General, with duty in Washington, D.C., Germany, Iraq, and Afghanistan. Dr. Eflont has an MS degree from Texas A&M University and a PhD from Salve Regina University. His research focused on civil-military relations, and he authored the book, The New Warrior Class. He is a member of Georgetown's VFW Post 8587 and the American Legion Post 174. Dr. Eflont shares life with his wife, Wendy Lester Eflont, the founding and managing attorney of Heritage Law. Their two sons graduated from Texas A&M and Oregon State. Dr. Eflont's awards and decorations include the Defense Superior Service Medal, Legion of Merit with Silver Leaf, Bronze Star with 2 Oak Leaf clusters, Defense Meritorious Service Medal, Valorous Unit Citation, Naval Unit Citation, Parachutist Badge, French National Defense Medal, Gold, and Eagle Scout. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce Dr. Scott Eflont.
I'm just going to move this forward 6 inches so I don't become the star of my own show falling off the back of the stage. Thank you for that gracious introduction. Good afternoon. It's a great day to be in Texas at the home of the Warriors. As was graciously introduced, I am Scott Eflont, and I am honored to participate in this ceremony because it means a lot to me personally. As was mentioned, I'm an Army veteran who had the privilege of standing in the rank and file of soldiers for 34 years. After my Army career, I got my second dream job here at A&M Central Texas, where I've had the privilege of watching the ROTC cohort in front of us today on a near daily basis. 11 May 1985. That's not Pearl Harbor. 11 May 1985 is one of the half-dozen anniversaries that are forever in my memory. It is the day I was commissioned as an Army second lieutenant at a small military school in Alabama. I don't share this as a personal note so that those of you in the back row can figure out how old I am. Although I see it on some of your faces, it's like, oh my gosh, he's a fossil. Let's look back that. I know I'm a high mileage automobile. Let's just look past that fact. I share that date as a point of recognition that I remember being commissioned, as will all of these young men and women remember this day as the day they were commissioned. Likewise, the significance of today is not lost on the larger audience in the community. I am flattered and honored to be joined in this auspicious occasion by some distinguished guests. Dr. Rhodes, President of Texas A&M Central Texas, General Retired Paul Funk, U.S. Army, and my former boss on more than one occasions, Lieutenant General Admiral, Commander of 3 Corps, Dr. Jones, the Provost of the University, Colonel Mintz, Dean Redmond of the College of Arts and Sciences, Lieutenant Colonel Essett, Commander of 17 Cav, whose organization sponsors our ROTC detachment and provides immeasurable contributions. Sergeant Major Rhodes from Fort Hood Garrison is here, as is Command Sergeant Major Monday, Command Sergeant Major Jackson, And Chaplain Kim, thank you for coming. But these are not our only special guests. Of equal importance are the spouses, families, and friends who are with us today. All of you should be proud of your contributions that shaped and developed this officer cohort. Each of you played an important role in many different ways. And for that, I say thank you and well done. Additionally, many of those in the audience who developed and encouraged these young warriors are also veterans. Please join me in a round of applause for our distinguished guests, our families, and our veterans. Today, we will witness something that is truly rare in our country. In the era of the all-volunteer force, less than 0.5% of the population serve in uniform. Of that small number, less than 10% of this 0.5% can commit themselves to the sacrifices required to become an officer. This fractional amount of the population, represented here in the first two rows, that becomes officers are truly a small, elite group that is the best America has to offer. These patriotic men and women that we will commission shortly as officers in the Army represent the truest form of volunteerism, a willingness to commit one's life for their fellow citizens. By taking the oath of office, they will forfeit the right to say no. They will forever be bound to do their duty every time, regardless of personal cost. I am reminded of British Field Marshal William Joseph Slim, an exceptional leader of the highest order. He saw combat as an officer in World War I and World War II, was wounded 3 times and was decorated for valor on multiple occasions. In his memoirs, looking back on his career, he said, quote, "Armies do not win wars by means of a few bodies of super soldiers, but by the average quality of their standard units," end quote. What was true then is true now. While an army with a spectrum of special formations and technology is needed on the battlefield, no single special activity can substitute for a country's core military requirement of exceptional leadership. That is what we have gathered here for to commission. Now, the foundation of these cadets' leadership development was honed right here in Texas, where they learned to be more than managers, more than bosses, and more than supervisors. They learned to be soldiers, the most respected profession in our country. Thanks to the superb leadership of Lieutenant Colonel Rainey and Master Sergeant Meserve at Tarleton State and Major Town here in Killeen, this cadre has ensured these cadets are ready to take on great responsibility, to lead America's sons and daughters. Not surprisingly, this ROTC program is recognized as the best one in 5th Brigade, a command that spans 8 states. The life of a cadet here at A&M goes above and beyond what is required of a typical college student. They complete their military training during the academic year, foregoing the activities typically associated with the college experience. They sacrifice their non-scholastic time for field training exercises, military labs, physical training, and summer camps, all while maintaining the highest standards of moral character. The quality of this cohort is on display externally as well. Here's a few examples. Cadet Christopher Landry was ranked number 10 nationally among 5,000 other cadets. 7 cadets in this cohort are distinguished military graduates, having ranked in the top quartile nationally. Cadet Brittany Dunn, of her own initiative, designed and implemented a student recruiting effort that proved so successful, her plan is now a standing and resource program here. Additionally, every cadet in this cohort ranked high enough nationally to receive their component of service of choice. As we prepare you all to join the ranks of the Army Officer Corps, I ask that you remember George Patton's warning, all glory is fleeting. At the end of the day, your greatest strength is your character. You are the next generation of warriors, and you must not forget that. Your job is to deploy, fight, and win our nation's war wherever that takes you. There is no prize for second place. Remember the sacrifice of those that came before you and the legacy you are now carrying. It is this indomitable spirit and the uniform you wear that will bring hope to the downtrodden and strike fear in the hearts of our enemies around the globe. Now, at this point, as an old soldier, before I leave the stage, I feel compelled to pass on some advice and some words of wisdom. And so I thought about all the ceremonies and graduations I came to, and the first proverb that came to mind was, take care of your knees. You'll miss them when they're gone. Now, everybody behind the first two rows gets that, and I promise you in 20 years, you'll see the wisdom of that proverb. But this is about today, and it's about you, so I thought I should do something that you too can use. So I thought back a lot of my time with General Funk, and I said, what wisdom did I learn the hard way? And sadly, it took me till I was about a major to figure this out. When confronted with many things and many requirements, the first thing you should do is what your boss wants, right? There is no need to crowdsource a solution on Facebook. Don't contact an Instagram influencer for advice, and don't ask Claude on ChatGPT. Just do what your boss tells you. As I think back of we'll summarize it as many developmental, significant emotional events, I could have saved my own life if I just did what my boss wanted the first time. After you get that done, hey, then you got to do what's required. Inventory the arms room, update your hand receipt, do your counseling. And after you get what your boss wants and what's required, then you can do what you want. And it's going to be awesome. From experience, if you resequence those three things, not a pretty ending. So when in doubt, do what your boss wants. Now, in closing, cadets, I know you understand the gravity of the commitment you have to make to this country and the people you will serve. It is an honor to serve alongside the men and women of our Army. Let me be the first to welcome you to that responsibility and welcome you to the profession. God bless the Army, and God bless the United States. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Eflon. On behalf of everyone in attendance and watching at home, thank you for your encouraging and motivating words of wisdom. The time you have sacrificed to be here and the time you have committed to serving our great nation is truly appreciated. Thank you, sir. Texas A&M University Board of Regents for cadet graduation has adopted a proclamation for the universities in the Texas A&M system. As members of the Texas A&M system, I will now read the proclamation. Adoption of a resolution recognizing newly commissioned officers graduating from the A&M University system. I recommend adoption of the following minute order. Whereas more than 48 million Americans have served in the military since 1776, and whereas a tradition of military service has been deeply ingrained in the Texas A&M University system since the founding of Texas A&M University in 1876, and whereas thousands of students and former students from universities in the Texas A&M University system have fought for freedom, uplifting millions of lives and making our country and world more secure through their military service. And whereas with the commissioning of officers, additional young men and women will join this noble cause, and whereas the Board of Regents and the entire Texas A&M University system family hereby express their great depth of gratitude and deep appreciation to those who volunteer to serve our country, uphold our liberty, and promote the cause of democracy around the world through military service. And now therefore be it resolved that this resolution be spread upon the minutes with official copies thereof signed by the chairman of the Board of Regents and be presented to the ROTC programs in the Texas A&M University system to be read at their commissioning ceremonies. Ladies and gentlemen, we will recognize two long-standing traditions in the United States Army: the pinning of the second lieutenant rank insignia and the tradition of the first salute, known as the Silver Dollar Salute. The Silver Dollar Salute is an honored tradition. British regiments stationed in colonial America brought with them several customs and traditions that were retained by the newly formed American Armed Forces. Authorized by Congress on April 2nd, 1792, the silver dollar is traditionally the only coin given in exchange for the first salute. The coin represents more than $1 in currency. To every new officer, it has a special significance. It represents the symbolic receipt of respect due to the newly earned rank and position, and it also signifies a deep sense of gratitude from the new officer for the knowledge that enlisted soldiers, especially non-commissioned officers, have passed on to them during training. It is an acknowledgement from one professional soldier to another that says, "Welcome to our service in the profession of arms." It is part of all soldiers' love of duty and their respect for each other, and it strengthens their commitment and responsibility to serve their country. Ladies and gentlemen, I will now publish the promotion orders for the Texas A&M University Central Texas Army ROTC cadets who were commissioned today as second lieutenants in the United States Army. Guests, please remain seated and hold your applause as the orders are published. Attention to orders. The President of the United States has reposed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and the abilities of Drake Adams, Ashley Arroyo Perez, Marissa Bangura, Eddie Manuel Capelas Alvarez, Jamie Castillo, Isaac Contreras, Stephanie Delatorre, Brittany Dunn, Elizabeth Haggerty, Elsie Hallbaker, Tanner House, Ryan Lambert, Christopher Landry, Timothy Pauly, Imani Powell, Caden Ruiz, Robert Yendez, and hereby appoint them to the grade of second lieutenant in the United States Army to rank as such on the 15th day of May, 2026. Please give this special group a round of applause. We will now conduct the pinning and first salute ceremony. At this time, we would like to recognize the Central Texas chapter of Military Officers Association of America for supplying the gold bars used in today's ceremony. Second Lieutenant Jamie Castillo is graduating summa cum laude with a bachelor's in business administration. She was selected for active duty as a Medical Service Corps officer. She will be pinned by her mother, Charlotte McClendon, and her daughter, Aria Castillo. Second Lieutenant Jamie Castillo will receive her first salute from her father, retired Sergeant Jimmy McClendon. Second Lieutenant Tanner House is graduating cum laude with a bachelor's in political science. He was selected for active duty as a military intelligence officer. He will be pinned by his brother, Sergeant James House, father, Wayne House, and wife, Mariah House. Second Lieutenant Tanner House will receive his first salute from mentor, First Sergeant Marquis Fuse. Second Lieutenant Ashley Arroyo Perez is a Distinguished Honor Graduate, graduating with a Master's in Computer Information Systems. She was selected for active duty as a Signal Corps officer. She will be pinned by her grandmother, Iris Alvarado, her mother, Milka Perez, and her sister, Angelica Arroyo. Second Lieutenant Ashley Arroyo Perez will receive her first salute from her best friend, Staff Sergeant Retired, Karina Navarro. Second Lieutenant Stephanie Delatorre is graduating magna cum laude with a bachelor's in political science. She was selected for active duty as an air defense artillery officer. She will be pinned by her friend Jessica Caldwell. Second Lieutenant Stephanie Delatorre will receive her first salute from her friend, Sergeant First Class Retired, Sean Kelly. Second Lieutenant Christopher Landry is graduating summa cum laude with a bachelor's in business administration. He was selected for active duty as a medical service corps officer. He will be pinned by his mother, Tina Mitchell, and fiance, Reagan Inglis. Second Lieutenant Christopher Landry will receive his first salute from Master Sergeant Retired Damian Baker. Second Lieutenant Drake Adams is graduating cum laude with a bachelor's in anthropology. He was selected for active duty as an aviation officer. He will be pinned by his mother, Tina Rodriguez, and brother, Leon Adams. Second Lieutenant Drake Adams will receive his first salute from his uncle, First Sergeant Manuel Bowe.
Above the best, sir.
Second Lieutenant Marissa Bangura is graduating cum laude with a bachelor's in psychology. She was selected for active duty as an Adjutant General Corps officer with Armor Branch Detail. She will be pinned by her mother, Clarissa Anthony, son, Amir Bangura, and cousin, Janelle Maynard. Second Lieutenant Marissa Bangura will receive her first salute from her father, Staff Sergeant retired Michael Roberts. Second Lieutenant Eddie Manuel Capelas Alvarez is graduating with a bachelor's in liberal studies. He was selected for reserve component as a military police corps officer. He will be pinned by his mother, Carmen Capelas, and brother, Christian Capelas. Second Lieutenant Eddie Manuel Capelas Alvarez will receive his first salute from his father, Staff Sergeant retired Heriberto Capelas. Second Lieutenant Isaac Contreras is graduating cum laude with a bachelor's in political science. He was selected for active duty as a medical service corps officer. He will be pinned by Sergeant First Class retired Richard Heathman. Second Lieutenant Isaac Contreras will receive his first salute from Sergeant First Class retired Richard Heathman. Second Lieutenant Brittany Dunn is graduating with a bachelor's in general studies. She was selected for active duty as an Adjutant General Corps officer with Armor Branch Detail. She will be pinned by her son, Liam Dunn, and daughter, Mila Dunn. Second Lieutenant Brittany Dunn will receive her first salute from Command Sergeant Major Shade Monday. Second Lieutenant Elizabeth Haggerty is a distinguished honor graduate, graduating with a master's in business administration. She was selected for active duty as a finance corps officer. She will be pinned by her fiance, David Tyler, and daughter, Everly Tyler. It's okay. Second Lieutenant Elizabeth Haggerty will receive her first salute from Sergeant Guadalupe Mata. Second Lieutenant Elsie Harbaker is graduating summa cum laude with a Bachelor's of Business Administration. She was selected for active duty as a Signal Corps officer. She will be pinned by her grandmother, Pam Myrie, son, Brooks Harbaker, daughter, Carolyn Harbaker, and husband, Sergeant Paul Harbaker. Second Lieutenant Elsie Harbaker will receive her first salute from her husband, Sergeant Paul Harbaker. Second Lieutenant Ryan Lambert is graduating summa cum laude with a Bachelor's of Business Administration. He was selected for active duty as a logistics officer. He will be pinned by his husband, Stephen Mango, father, Don Lambert, and father-in-law, Philip Mango. Second Lieutenant Ryan Lambert will receive his first salute from his uncle, Sergeant First Class Les Lambert.
With honor, sir.
Second Lieutenant Timothy Pauley is graduating with honors in a Bachelor's in Liberal Studies. He was selected for active duty as an armor officer. He will be pinned by his mother, Denise Pauley, and brother, Thomas Pauley. Second Lieutenant Timothy Pauley will receive his first salute from Sergeant First Class retired Timothy Pauley, Sr. Second Lieutenant Imani Powell is graduating cum laude with a bachelor's in political science. She was selected for active duty as a Signal Corps officer. She will be pinned by her grandmother, Mary White, and her sister, Winter Powell. Second Lieutenant Imani Powell will receive her first salute from her best friend, Staff Sergeant Jalen Portillo. Second Lieutenant Caden Ruiz is graduating with a bachelor's in liberal studies. He was selected for active duty as a logistics officer. He will be pinned by his father, Manolito Jose Ruiz, brother Casey Ruiz, uncle Ariel Ruiz, and aunt Katia Ruiz. Second Lieutenant Caden Ruiz will receive his first salute from his grandfather, First Sergeant retired Guadalupe Ruiz. Second Lieutenant Robert Yendez is graduating magna cum laude with a bachelor's in criminal justice. He was selected for active duty as a Signal Corps officer. He will be pinned by his father, David Yendez, mother, Angela Yendez, sister, Natalie Yendez, and brother, Philip Yendez. Second Lieutenant Robert Yendez will receive his first salute from his friend, Staff Sergeant Retired Sammy Jackson. Yes, please remain seated as Dr. Eflon will now administer the oath of office to all 17 lieutenants.
Raise your right hand. Sound off. Repeat after me. I do solemnly swear. I state your name. Do solemnly swear. That I will support and defend. The Constitution of the United States. Against all enemies. Foreign and domestic. And that I will bear. True faith and allegiance. To the same. I take this obligation freely. Without any mental reservation. Or purpose of evasion. And that I will and faithfully. Discharge the duties of the office. On which I am about to enter. So help me God.
Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you the United States Army's newest second lieutenants. Let's give the new lieutenants one more round of applause. Lieutenants, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the white screen on stage for a short video commemorating the MS4 class. Dr. Eflon, at this time, Second Lieutenant Castillo would like to present a gift on behalf of the commissioning class of 2026, a small token of appreciation on this momentous day.
Sir, on behalf of Texas Battalion Bravo Company, we would like to give you this gift as a token of our appreciation. Thank you for coming out and supporting the Army's newest second lieutenants.
My pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please rise for the singing of the Army song, which can be found in your programs and on the screen.
First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might, and the army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won, and the army goes rolling along. Then it's high, high, hey, the army's on its way. Count our brigades on its strong. For wherever we go, you will always know that the army goes rolling along.
On behalf of the Texas A&M University Central Texas Army ROTC, we would like to thank you all for sharing this exciting time with us, and we wish the best of luck to each of the newly commissioned lieutenants. This concludes our ceremony. Please take this opportunity to congratulate the newest second lieutenants in the United States Army. Warriors, lead the way. Please join us for the reception in the hallway. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Mike?